So let me get this straight. You can shoot 4 students at a high school and be out the next day on a $75,000 bail. Welcome to Joe Biden's woke America.
In the woke mob, you'll acquire advanced skill training in how to forego nuanced thinking, communicating via emotional volatility, virtue signaling, peaceful protesting, mouth breathing, and elite level training in letting your group do your thinking for you. Are you ready for the woke mob? Would you like to ruin people's careers so they can't feed their children anymore? Would you like the opportunity to hurt innocent people? Are you ready to serve your community the way cancer serves the body? Do you have what it takes? Many are called, few are chosen, and the few scream louder than the many. Come scream with us, the few, the proud, the woke.
Speak. I want to start off by asking you guys a very simple question. By a show of hands, how many people in this room have had bad things happen to them? Everyone. Okay, everyone. Now I'm going to ask a similar question, but it's going to be different. By a show of hands, how many people in this room consider themselves a victim? Wow, really impressive. Normally I get a few hands, and that's really impressive. So the differences in these questions is a difference in mentality. I have been smeared, libeled, I have been protested, I have been kicked out of restaurants, I have been assaulted because I go around with a very simple message, which is that bad things happen to everyone, but a victim mentality is not something that you should possess because a bad thing.
I wake up every morning super angry at the world and pretty much everyone in it. And even though I live alone with my cats, I make sure to immediately put on my mask and then to immediately put on my other mask. Then I put a mask on my dog to protect him from the pandemic of the unvaccinated. After that, I eat my vegan breakfast, making sure to pull up my mask between every single bite before moving on to CNN's website so I'll know what I'm supposed to believe today. And then on to a quick prayer to Lord Fauci, the God of science, because there is no real God. And then I go onto social media, where I immediately get triggered because Joe Rogan, a white man with an opinion, is still allowed to be on Spotify. And then it's out the door where I see my next door neighbor, a white man married to a white woman, hanging an American flag in his yard. So obviously I called the police, and hopefully he'll go to jail this time. The government pays me to not work, so it's off to a defund the police rally in my SUV because, save the environment.
Hey, I'm a Trump voter. Excuse me? Don't you know that Donald Trump is a racist? Am I black? What? Did I stutter? I don't know how to answer that.
Joe Biden seems to think I'm not black, so...
No, Joe Biden would never say that.
You don't say.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Joe Biden loves diversity.
Well, Joe Biden also seems to think black people are not diverse.
Okay, that's just not true.
You sure?
What you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community.
He didn't mean that.
Do I look like I'm on cocaine? Am I on cocaine?
What?
Well, Joe Biden seems to think when he gets confused, he seems to think that black people are on cocaine.
No way.
Here we go again.
Have you taken a cognitive...
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say?
So, what is it? Am I black? Are black people diverse? Am I on crack? My president would never say that stuff.
You're not big on gay marriage.
No, I'm not on a social level. I think the government ought to be completely out of the business of marriage. I think the government sucks at everything, is my short message for today. The government is terrible at everything. If the government's goal was to forward traditional marriage, it utterly failed. I think the government should be out of all marriage. I think the government stinks at this. You know, now, I will say that, I think the idea of the government subsidizing gay marriage is silly, because I don't think that there's societal benefit to gay marriage. If you're going to make the argument that government should be involved in marriage at all, which is not even an argument with which I agree at this point. Before I get there, one quick point. The reason I want the government out of the business of marriage is because now that the government has enshrined gay marriage, the next step is going to be going to religious people and telling them they have to engage with same-sex weddings. So as a religious person, this is problematic to me. I want a society in which I can do what I want, and I don't have to care what you think, and you can do what you want, and you don't have to care what I think.
Right.
That doesn't mean you get to come into my synagogue and get married. It also doesn't mean that I have to go to your gay wedding.
Right.
That's crazy, because I've never met a Republican that wasn't a white supremacist.
I guess I'm white. Does that mean I get a white privilege card now? Yay!
Breaking news. This just in. Apparently, everyone's going to starve to death because fertilizer prices are through the roof because of the sanctions put against Russia. It's very interesting to know that only farm animals in Russia. That's correct. Fertilizer cannot be produced anywhere else. There are no cows and no farm animals anywhere else except for Russia. Stay woke.
Waters tells hundreds of homeless people to go home after a housing event in Los Angeles spiraled out of control. Listen to this.
There are no more applications. I want everybody to go home. And I want
We don't got no home.
Okay.
That's why we here.
There's nobody in Washington who works for their people in a harder than I do.
I believe you.
I don't want to hear that.
I believe you. So can we finish though?
Honestly, unbelievable. The New York Post reporting that Waters tried to stop an LA Times reporter from publishing the story about what really happened, telling him, quote, "You'll hurt yourself and the community trying to put this together."
Well, I'm not sure you should assume I'm not corrupt, but thank you for that, though. The system does produce corruption, and I think implicit in the system is corruption, when in fact, whether or not you can run for public office, and it costs a great deal of money to run for the United States Senate, even from a small state like Delaware, you have to go to those people who have money, and they always want something. We were told that we politicians, as the young kids say, rip off the American public. I think the American public, in a way, rips off we politicians by forcing us to run the way they do. To raise $300,000 is no mean feat. And unless you happen to be some sort of anomaly, like myself, being a 29-year-old candidate and can attract some attention beyond your own state, it's very difficult to raise that money from a large group of people. I'm a 29-year-old oddball. The only reason I was able to raise the money is I was able to have a national constituency to run for office. Because I was 29, I'm like the token black or the token woman. I was the token young person.
William Thomas, ranked number 462 in men's swimming. Meet Leah Thomas, ranked number 1 in women's swimming. Only one problem. It's the same person. Some people are afraid to talk about it. Not me. I'm Vicki Hartzler. I ran and coached girls track, and I won't look away while woke liberals destroy women's sports. Women's sports are for women, not men pretending to be women. I'm Vicki Hartzler. I approve this message.
Joe Rogan is a racist. Are you sure? He invites an awful lot of black people and minorities onto his show. Yeah, I'm positive. He said the N-word like 15 years ago. There's no coming back from that. Okay, but do you think context matters? Nope.
We already have a there. We don't need any more big shots.
So anyone who's ever said the N-word, regardless of context, is a racist and should be canceled. Yep, 100%.
We already have a there. We don't need any more big shots.
What about Joe Biden? Do you think he's a racist? You're just mad because he beat Trump in the most fair election in history. No, I'm not even talking about Trump. I'm not talking about the election. I'm asking you if you think Biden is racist. He's used the N-word many times, actually. Do you think he's a racist?
We already have a there. We don't need any more big shots.
How dare you speak like that about the President of the United States of America?